Hey Troglodytes, welcome back to Troglodytes Guitars. No, you're not seeing the same video again. This is a different one. I guess I forgot to look. I think it's a 1987. It's either 87 or 88. We'll find out when we look at the serial number. But this is a 61 SG reissue. Kind of one of the first ones where they went back to the early 60s style. And these are very cool prehistoric guitars. And this one... I liked that last one I had so much, and it sold so quickly. I had to get another one, but this one sold to me as all original. Oh, no, nope, not all original, that's for sure. But I'll sell it to you guys for what it is. All pickups have been replaced with, I think it was 2010 57 Classics, which are great pickups. That's what comes in like the early 2000s SG customs like these. This vibrola tailpiece was added, and if you don't like it, you can take it off, but let's take a minute to talk about this thing. Once you take this cover off, you're going to see it's screwed in 4 locations here underneath the Gibson logo, and then it is also, I think it's 2 large screws here. So if you take it off, you're going to have 6 holes in your top. Your other option is to take this thing, take it off, take this off, and I'm not sure if there's a way, but this kind of fits in kind of like a little slit. If you can find a way to like unsolder all that, like get it hot and somehow get that to take off, that way you could leave this part on it. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it would cover all the holes. That's kind of how the Gibson Derrick Trucks SGs look. They just have the plate on it. Because as you can see, you still have your stop bar tailpiece. Personally, I would say this guitar sounds better with a stop tailpiece. When you strum it, it sounds a little tinier as compared to having a stop bar tailpiece, but you do have the added versatility of having a trem. It's just such a classy look. I love it for its look. As far as functionality, it functions all right, but it's on the guitar. I'll leave it with that. I like the look. I like how it works, but I don't like that there's holes in the top if you wanted to take it off. I was hoping there weren't holes under there, but hey, it's all right. All right, well, let's take a look at this guitar. This was replaced. The 80s ones did not have Les Paul Custom. It was just a blank truss rod cover, so that is new. Truss rod functions just fine. Your typical lacquer lines around here caused from how just Gibson inlays. That's on all authentic Gibsons. Some light string change scratches, but nothing too bad on the headstock. Fretboard is ebony. You have some very light fret wear here. Nothing too incredibly bad that you're going to have to worry about. I just cleaned and oiled the fretboard, so it's looking good. This thing was pretty dirty when it came to me. Another thing that's been changed is the Tenon cover here. This would have originally looked just like this and would have been blank, but somebody's made this look like a true 60s one, because the 60s ones did have Les Paul Custom on there. And if you go back to that other video, that was one change that I did suggest. The plastic in this material versus the pick guard definitely feels cheaper, but it is what it is. This is the original pick guard. I guess that's just a little bit of lemon oil yet. So you got your average player's wear, but nothing too extreme here. Looks like you got a few dings there by the input jack on this one, because somebody just couldn't find that thing. I wish it was on the side. And the SG standards of the late 80s, I guess mid to late 80s, had them on the side, and I love those guitars. Now this tailpiece is worth about anywhere from 150 to 200 bucks. I wasn't able to tell if it's a true vintage one. If it is, I think those are almost worth 500, honestly. And the bridge has been replaced. That bridge is actually worth quite a bit of money. That's early 70s, late 60s. I think we'll go early 70s ABR1. So it is a Gibson, but it says Gibson patent number under it. And those were used in the early 70s. I think I've sold one of those for $200 before. So you got some nice little dings here. And the other thing that this one has going for it over the other one is there's some authentic finish checking on it. Definitely more prominent on the back. As you can see, lots of small dents and dings. Once again, added lyre vibrola. Got your changed out bridge, which is actually a huge upgrade as far as value. And then your 57 Classics, changed out tenon cover, and truss rod cover. Got your 60s style neck, definitely a true 60s style, very thin, feels pretty good. Back of your headstock here, you've got some chips in the finish here. And your serial number, it looks like it's an 88. And you got a little ding there, but no breaks, cracks, or repairs. You do have some finish checking though. As you can see, it kind of runs just along the back of the guitar. It's not a break, crack, and or repair necessarily to speak. That's just kind of where the fretboard meets the neck, where it does that line, and then I guess it's really hard to show finish checking. Here we go. You can see it's all up and down the neck, and it's pretty cool. Now there was a strap that was kind of laying on the back of the guitar's neck in the case for quite some time, and that caused the black finished kind of to rub off on it there, as you can see. You got two dings there. When you're playing, yeah, you really don't feel them. Even when you run over them, they're so small. Guess we got some finish checks here on the back of the headstock as well. But the whole guitar is checked. I mean, now that we're in this angle, you can see it's on the back of the headstock as well, all the way up the neck, and let's see, it's on the back as well. So it's got authentic finish checks, which I think look pretty cool. So back to here. No breaks, cracks, or repairs to speak of. This one is pretty solid. Usually you'll get a little line here just because it's kind of a weak area and the finish won't quite, attach. You got swapped out strap buttons. Looks like more modern ones to me. And besides the finish checking on the back, you've got your typical wear and tear scratches, but nothing like completely destroying the finish. I think that's the only place where it really breaks the finish. But just some average nicks and dings. You've got 500K pots in there. Now, something to note is that screw doesn't really screw in. There's a little crack in there that makes it so the screw won't take, which is very common on these. It was on the last one as well. So I took that screw and I moved it. Let's see. Well, I moved it to one of these areas because one of the screw heads was stripped. Something to note that these are slot head screws here and here. So screws have definitely been replaced as well. But all that said, all the changes, this is still a very cool guitar. It's not quite the $3,000 example, but definitely not a bad choice. Because between getting an early 2000s one and one of these, definitely go for your 80s because it just sounds cooler to have. Oh yeah, I've got a 1988 SG Custom. Way cooler than a 2000 SG Custom. You've got the original case here. This one is in a lot better shape than the last one. All the Tolex is still attached. I guess I better make sure before I say that. Yep, it looks like it's all there. You've got your average wear and tear, but nothing too extreme. I love the plush interior of these. They're very interesting. And then I do have the screws that I took out here. They are in here if you wanted them. One of the head is stripped, and there should be 2 small ones. I had a hard time getting this vibrola back on. You can see there's a little screw here and here, but we're missing that one. That one's in the case. And then the screws underneath here, 2 of them are kind of stripped, kind of hard to get out, so I didn't put them all the way back in. So they're sticking up a little bit. But it is what it is. All right, Troglodytes, thank you for tuning in today for a beautiful 1988 Gibson SG Custom. If you're interested in this guitar, feel free to contact me on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Troglys, Troglys, or check out the Reverb listing. We'll catch you next time, guys. Take care.